Welcome back to a new lesson, a new day, and I hope a wonderful time for learning. That's right. Today, as I promised, we are going to continue with the last lesson that we did about making connections. However, before that, I have a question for you. And what I'm going to ask you is I'm going to ask you to go ahead and pause your video and think about this question. What is the purpose of a Venn diagram? So just think about that for a little bit. Use your background knowledge. Remember, we talked a lot about this last week. So I'm going to ask you to use your background knowledge on this and think about the purpose of a Venn diagram. So again, please pause your video and come back to me whenever you feel ready. Okay, well, as I mentioned just a little while ago, today's lesson is a continuation of the previous one. It's making comparisons part two. And the reason that this is a continuation is because last time we compared ourselves to a friend using a Venn diagram. And as you probably remember, we use the Venn diagram to determine or to um, find differences and similarities between two or more different things, right? Well, today we are going to use that Venn diagram to actually write a paragraph. That's right. So let's go ahead and read our second learning target right here. And it is I can write a compare and contrast paragraph using the similarities and differences in the Venn diagram that you created beforehand. Yes. So, how about we read it together? Huh? Okay, let's do it. One, two, three. I can write a compare and contrast paragraph using the similarities and differences in the Venn diagram. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back a little bit. So, last week, or not last week, but last lesson, we talked about a Venn diagram comparing and contrasting, and I presented you with a photo of Miss Smith, my student teacher, and her friend Peyton, right? And in that photo, right here it is, she compared herself and Peyton using a Venn diagram. We already saw this, right? So nothing new right here. So let's go ahead and recap a little bit. So if I go back to the photo, here is Miss Smith and here is Peyton. Okay, and Miss Smith says, or Miss Smith has red hair. She says that she loves languages, and I know that she lives close to Nashville. She's telling us that Peyton, and we can see this in the photo, she has brown hair, loves art, and lives right here in Chattanooga. So this is how these are the differences that Miss Smith used when comparing or contrasting herself and Peyton, right? Now, this goes on the outside part of the circle. Now, where the circle overlaps, right here in the center, that's where she put all the similarities, right? So she says that both Miss Smith and Peyton, they both like to read books, they both love French fries, both of them watch Brooklyn 99, and they both love to practice Taekwondo, right? So there we have it, all in a small nutshell, right? Okay, so let's keep going. So after that, it was your turn to find a friend to compare yourself and your friend using a Venn diagram. Do you remember? Okay, so that brings us to, we're almost there with a recap. So then we saw this, and I asked you to use these sentence frames to write sentences comparing yourself to your friend. And I gave you this example. So, for example, Miss Smith, right? Miss Smith is saying, I have red hair, but Peyton has brown hair. Peyton loves languages, but no, sorry, let me go back. Peyton loves art, but I love languages. Remember, this is Miss Smith talking, right? We both love to read books. Both of us also practice taekwondo. So you see, very simple sentences that we were writing last week and that you were supposed to write using the sentence frames, um, so that you can compare your friend to you, right? So this is today's assignment, and this is where we begin with something new, because remember, we are going to write a paragraph. That is what we are going to do. So here is a paragraph that Miss Smith wrote using her sentence frames and her Venn diagram. Here we go. I have red hair, but my friend Peyton has brown hair. She loves art, but I love languages. I am from Nashville, but she is from Chattanooga. We both love to read and watch Brooklyn 99. Both of us also like French fries and taekwondo. We are very different, but she is my best friend. So she has a nice, tidy conclusion sentence right here. Okay. We don't have a topic sentence, but that's okay. That was not the purpose of this. Now, what is the difference? This is what my students usually ask, right? So, what's the difference between sentences? Let's go back and look at them. Sentences and a paragraph. Students usually ask this, and remember that our assignment is to write a paragraph, no sentences, right? So you are going to use your sentences that you already created to go ahead and make them into a paragraph. So the difference is sentences are by line. So one, and then two, and then three, and then four, right? Now, a paragraph is, I always like to describe it as an S, okay? Because you come, and then you go, and then you come. So there's really no period, and then comes the next line. Period, and then comes the next line. No. Notice over here, this is the beginning of the sentence. This is the end of the sentence. There is no new line. We leave a space and we begin the second sentence. Okay, and then we go all the way to the end. We put our full stop, space, and we begin our next sentence. And the same over here. We use a full stop, space, and then we begin our fourth sentence. And once again, full stop, space, new sentence, and here we go, right? So, how do I know when a sentence ends and when a new sentence begins? Well, very simple. It ends with a full stop right here that you are seeing right here, and it ends with a capital letter, like right on this area right here, right? That is how we know when, sorry, a new sentence, uh, a sentence ends and a new one has begun. And that's, friend, what I'm asking you to do. However, we're going to do an example together again. So here we are. What we're going to do is not another example, as I said, I made a little bit of a mistake. What we're going to do is, or what I did was I created a paragraph frame for you to, using your Venn diagram, write a compare and contrast paragraph used about you and your friend. So if I was going to do this with my best friend D, I will say, I am short, but my friend D is tall. My friend D likes to ride bikes, but I love to go hiking. We both enjoy traveling abroad. Both of us love good food. We are very different, but she is my best friend. So you see, very simple. Remember that if you use your Venn diagram and the sentences that you previously created, it's going to be a very easy assignment for you. And when you're done, as usual, upload it to whatever platform you're using in your class. Okay? Okay, I hope that this made it very easy for you to be able to compare and contrast yourself to another person. And with that, we have arrived at the end of a new lesson or another lesson. And I will see you next time.